Hello, I'm Megan Jones, editor at Call Centre Health Magazine, and today I'm delighted to be joined by the amazing Shep Hyken to talk about his latest research and what it has revealed about customer attitudes to AI. So before we get stuck in, Shep, can you tell everyone a bit more about the report itself?
Sure. And Megan, thanks for having me on the show here. Uh, the report we do every year, and it is kind of a state of customer service and customer experience and what's going on in the United States. So what we did is we surveyed over 1,000 U.S. consumers, basically matching the U.S. population for age, gender, ethnicity, geography, et cetera, et cetera. And we have this perfect picture, at least I believe it's perfect, of what the US looks like. And we ask these questions, everything from what's important to you in that customer experience to this, what we're going to talk about today, which is AI.
That all sounds amazing. So let's dive into some of those stats and what changes have been seen year on year. And so, firstly, that 50% of customers have now resolved an issue using AI or ChatGPT without human assistance, and that this has jumped up from 32% in 2024. So, Shep, what's been happening behind the scenes here?
Well, first of all, that's a pretty big jump
Yeah.
in 1 year. And if you think about what's happening is that AI is getting better. 10 years ago, you could put together an AI solution. It, number one, cost not just tens of thousands, but perhaps hundreds of thousands to do what we can do today. And it didn't even do it all that well. Well, today, almost any company can get into an AI solution to help support their customers. It's relatively inexpensive and it's pretty darn good. So, 50% of customers said that they have successfully resolved an issue. However, you also need to know that 51%, almost the same amount of people, said, you know what? It's been working, but I've also received bad information from an AI self-service bot, which means it's not yet quite perfect. And the other thing I want to emphasize, and through all of the questions we're going to talk about related to AI and digital technology, there is a big difference in the ages of customers and how they perceive using this type of solution. So 61% of Gen Zs, that's the younger generation, have successfully receive this level of support versus, are you ready for this? Just about a third, 32% of the boomers. That's almost like 32%, 61%. That's like twice as many young people grab it versus the older people. Older people, let's get it together. This is the future, and it's now.
But looking to the future and the other noticeable increases that have been seen across the broader report, 42% of people now believe that AI can actually handle complex inquiries as effectively as humans. And this is also up from 28% in 2024. So, what changes do you think have been driving this?
Well, it's not, again, it's the acceptance, it's the adoption, it's the comfort level, it's the fact that companies are putting it out there for their customers to use. But I want to emphasize something, and you and I have talked about this in prior interviews, that as good as the technology is, most support CX professionals believe that it's still good for basic answers and problem solving, but not for complex. So we have to define what is a complex issue. If I am getting ready to take a flight and I get an alert from my airline that says your flight is canceled, here are four options. Which ones do you want? Well, that's kind of AI working with me. To me, that looks like a fairly complicated process, but the reality of it, it really isn't all that complicated. So I think it's we have to define what complicated is and recognize our customers, once again, they're starting to embrace the situation and starting to enjoy using a tool that if I gave you a choice, for example, if I want to call you and I know I'm going to have to be on hold for 10 minutes, or I could get the answer right now, doing it myself, what do you think most people are going to choose to do right now? So that's why this is working out so well.
I love the idea that you put out there. The companies are putting this technology out there, that people are open to embracing it. And I think that then shows in this stat that 63% of customers expect AI technologies to become the primary mode of customer service in the future. And this is another one that's jumped up from 21% in 2021. So what's happening there?
Yeah, that's a three times jump. So just in the past few years, once again, so far what we've talked about, that's telling the story of what's going on. Customers are starting to see it being presented to them. They're using it. 50% of customers say they've resolved the issue. By the way, there's some customers that are out there that say, I always use the AI solution because I pretty much always get what I want. But this is an important stat. This is an important thing that you just shared. But what I'm about to share with you is really crucial for companies to understand. As excited and accepting as customers might be, again, take a look at your demographics. Younger customers are far more excited than older generation. Here is the general stat. 86% of your customers think companies using AI for customer service should always have a backup with a human. In other words, even though I'm going to dive into it, make sure you're going to give me that backup support just in case I need it.